So Caesars before MGM were targeted by these two groups, and they paid a ransom. I think it was somewhere between $13 to $20 million.
So Caesars was hacked?
Yeah, before MGM.
Explain how it started, if you could, right? Like was it a phased kind of like takeover?
So they actually went to LinkedIn, picked one of the high IT employees there, and they called customer service. So like, oh, like this is Joe Blow. I got logged out of my account. I'm trying to log in. Like Jack, which is my manager, is actually like giving me a hard time. This is a really bad day. My wife left me, something like that. They give him the access, right? I'm not joking.
Right.
They give him access.
So they just gave it to him. They're like, okay, we'll reset it. Here's your new password. We're setting it to this email.
They had control of the management tool that they use to control their servers. Wow.
At that point, MGM got notified of that on Sunday night. At this point, the first contact was done by Black Cat or Alpha. We got attacked. We're asking for ransomware. I don't know, $15 million. MGM refused. At this point, they shut off all their system.
Do you know what they shut down? Like what?
Everything. No, everything. I'm not joking. Everything. They really went to the dark ages at that point.
So I wonder how many people were like, "Hey, I put $100 into this slot machine and it didn't accept it."
Complimentary.
And how did they go back to that? Yeah.
Complimentary.
Lap dance.
Dude, it works.
I'm like, I want 2 lap dances at least. That was $100.
Well, Mo, dude, really appreciate you coming back.
Yeah.
Again, to talk about these Vegas hacks, but what are you drinking? What's so
So I'm
strong?
drinking pomegranate wine. It's like Armenian wine. And it's really strong, and it's really good, and it's really sweet.
What's the ABV on it?
It says
like the alcohol content.
Yeah, it says like 9, but I think it's a lie because it's good, and it's good and it's sweet, so it fucks you faster. So
Everybody likes to be fucked faster.
yeah. This kind of wine, you'll get drunk without even knowing it, or like without even feeling it. So,
dude, when I first started, I didn't drink wine until I met my wife, and that's when I learned that different alcohols have a different kind of drunk feeling. Like I always just drank beer, and I'd feel like shit in the morning, and then I drank wine, and I was like, oh, this is totally different. And then like we each had a bottle. Like the first time I had wine, I had a bottle of wine.
oh wow.
And I felt it was the worst hangover. The second worst hangover of my life the next day.
Nice.
It was horrible, dude. Horrible,
That's I would say that's good though, because I've been drunk, but my brother has a footage of me playing. We went to Rocky Point on my birthday, and I barely get drunk. I never got drunk in my life, and I was like, you know what? It's my birthday, and like we're in Mexico. Why not get drunk? So I drank like 17 shots of tequila. Dude, I've like my brother
17.
Yeah,
1-7.
Yeah. And my brother told me I was playing chess with myself on, like on the balcony. And there's a footage of this, by the way, on the balcony with a marker. And he was like, "What the fuck you're doing? Like what? We can erase this. We can clean it off. What the hell is wrong with you?" Like, "No, we can't." I'm like, "Dude, I do this all the time." Yeah, but like more like I do this all the time. Like the drunk voice.
Dude, I don't know how people do that. Like I've never been. I believe I've blacked out probably twice in my life from drinking, but I've never. I always get too tired.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because I pace myself just enough, or like I don't go hard enough. Like I don't know what it is, but I've never been to that point where like there's no way I can do 17 shots of tequila. And I drink, dude. Like I've been drinking less in the last year, but I mean I could throw down. I can't throw down 17 shots, dude.
Dude, the reason why I drank this much, and like you'll find it funny, but you'll understand. It was trying to get a girl drunk because we were playing together who would drink more, so I can spend the night with her. I got fucked.
So
up,
you could
dude.
fuck her. Let's be honest.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And she was Mexican, and she was a mom, so like she knows what she's doing, dude.
Yeah.
I got fucked up bad.
there's a point where you drink too much. I mean, just like when I'm bowling or playing horseshoes, I'm really good when I'm dialed in and drunk, but once I hit that point,
there's no
I
return.
can't do anything anymore. Yeah, then you get whiskey dick on the bowling alley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, whiskey dick is something I get that like after 2 whiskeys.
On the cruise.
5 years ago, there was 3 whiskeys. You know,
Yeah.
now it happens sooner. We don't have to talk about the cruise, man. We already hashed that. It's all good. I don't want to talk about that ever again, dude.
Yeah.
So Vegas was hacked, and was it just MGM?
There were 19 different casinos. We're talking Bellagio, MGM Grand, Aria, Luxor, New York, Mandalay, Excalibur, Park MGM, Nomad, because they own most of the casinos over there.
Sure.
So let's talk systems. Systems in Vegas, the ones that were affected are the ones in Las Vegas, which was on the Strip. The only other parts that weren't affected, which were like the rewards, right? Which were like social security number, PII, were sold off, but you can access the reward system, let's say in Reno. But these systems in Reno weren't affected.
Is that why you think they purposely keep all those systems separate just so they don't all go down?
The reason why I think they keep them separate is because their servers are local, right? Like they keep their servers somewhere safe, and they have like like they don't use like a data center somewhere else. They keep it in house, right? It's like in the casino, like somewhere sub level, like you need the security access to get there, and it links everything up.
Which makes sense, right? Like if the MGM Grand Casino in Las Vegas on the Strip goes down for whatever reason, not because they were hacked, they still want Bellagio to still make money.
Yep.
And so they need their own server in Bellagio to like handle its own shit.
Yeah, but this still affected all those casinos,
right? So yeah, they were all connected, right?
So the reason why all were connected, and I'll get to that, is because they were in one network. Like one fiber cable goes like under the ground, and you can make one network connected to it, and that's why, because it was in one city. And there's some things, and I'm not sure if this is true or not, but still a couple of rumors that says they had like contractors, like outsourced contractors, to make their system or their IT system, which was shitty. Like once you outsource your stuff to whoever contractors don't give a crap.
To the lowest bidder, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
most probably. So contractors, I wouldn't say they won't give a crap, but like mainly they will not stay in the company to see what the problems may arise, right? Or like they don't care enough, like they don't have the dedication or commitment enough, and they're really rare, these kind of contractors, that they care what's going to go on in 10 years. Okay, this is the business need. I'm not going to say no, I'm not going to say yes. I don't care. Maybe in 2 years, kind of like variations, that's the most things I will care for. And like, for example, what if we add another casino? How easy this will be. But they will not try to make it as the best quality, or like how we make with our in-house app, right? Like we constantly committed to make it better, make it faster. Yeah.
Sure. With a contractor, you're more geared towards like it's a 6-month contract, year,
it's
2-year contract. Yeah, I gotta like the goal is to get it done in 2 years or show progress in 2 years or whatever, right?
Is that because the contractor isn't doing it, or is because the company isn't paying for the warranty or something? Like, I mean, for preventive maintenance or upkeep? I mean, is that an option for that they're opting out of?
So once you get a contractor, and everybody knows that if you get a contractor, not for one software, right, or like to help your system to grow, or like a consultancy kind of thing, you're just building something from scratch. It is easier, less expensive to get a contractor once and for all kind of system, and then let people use it and maintain it. Because you will not be paying for developers, right? You will not be paying for a dedicated team to take care of this. And this kind of team will have a lot of people to get in. You need a lot of skills. You need a lot of management, yada, yada, yada. And because of this, they don't want to pay a lot of money. So they contract or outsource their code.
Well, it's even like you can start quick too, right? Like Mo, you and I work together, and we know like the hiring process could take 3 months, 4 months,
Yeah,
6 months to find one person,
I
right?
agree.
To fill one role. And so if you're building a whole new system and you need 12 devs, 12 engineers plus system people, whatever, you can outsource it to a company that's like, hey, we got 20 people that can start tomorrow that know their shit.
Yeah,
And so,
but
and
I would say also there's a lot of recruiting agencies that if you tell them, well, hey, I'm a multi-billion-dollar company, that if I want to, I want you guys to find these, dude. I like on LinkedIn. I removed my LinkedIn because everybody spams me. We're looking for this, apply. I'm like, dude, I'm not even applying for a developer. Like this is not my
sure.
position anymore. They don't care, so they spam everyone. But they're committed to find within a time frame people who can do this. And if you pay a recruiting company, they can get you these kind of people also.
Like this hack wasn't just people's information. They took over, right? Like people couldn't get into their rooms. They couldn't do.
We will get into the depth of this, but they didn't take over because what's it called, MGM, or the IT in MGM, or whatever company they handled the response with MGM, they shut off all the systems.
No.
But they were inside, and they were like, they had a ransomware inside, and we'll get back like what are the technicalities and how they did that. But they were able to get inside, and they were inside, and they had like a chat box, about this, and they 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 just shut off all the systems, which pretty much fucked up everything else. And dude, we're talking about casinos, so you have like 80 ATMs, elevators access, room access, reward systems. You have a lot of different systems. They shut all of those off.
So, but by they, you mean MGM
MGM IT staff.
said, gotcha. So, as a precaution, they said, oh crap.
Oh no, they're not even
They're
precaution. Like they knew they shooting themselves in the foot because they want to take the high road.
right. But I mean, but even then, like maybe they didn't fully understand the scope of the hack. How deep, what kind of access did these people have? And so it's like, it's a best case scenario is just like, let's just pull it from the internet, right?
Yeah,
Let's just shut down the network. Let's shut everything down. Now they can't do anything. And like they just stop it cold
yeah.
in a sense, right? Okay.
They thought it would be the best thing to do, but like for example, if it was a small company that, let's say, they had 20 servers, you can get that back up in, let's say, 8 hours, right? At most. And I'm just spitballing over here. But if
If
you're
they're prepped for it. Yeah.
yeah, but if you're well prepared and like you've done this in years before, in 2 hours you can get a new, like, can with the backup get a new system, and you should be good, right? They have like thousands of virtual machines, servers, databases. I mean, we're talking about like not even maybe millions. I don't know. It's a
Sure.
big system, so complicated. It has like all the information of 19 different MGM owned branches, and not only for ATMs or like for the
They, they, they,
bettings.
they, they probably have services that like control the lighting
Yeah,
and like
small
the
details.
fragrance
Yeah,
and the airflow, like,
yeah,
The,
in the air conditioning
the
system. Yeah,
O2 they pump into the casinos to keep us away from
exactly. Yeah.
gambling, right?
yeah.
So how did it start? Right?
Okay.
Like, is there a day? Is there a time? Like, when did it?
So, well, first I wanna talk about three things first, right? These are very basic or foundational stuff that we need to understand for later on. So we can continue like on the same levels or same definitions when I talk about those.
Sure.
First one is, I don't know if you guys remember from our last talk. It's something called RAS, and ransomware as a service.
Yes.
We touch about this later on, but before this with like previous episode. But I want to bring it up, and like for whoever is watching, I want to also try to identify what is that. This is a ransomware. This is what it does. Ransomware as a service is one company offering ransom as a service, and it sounds exactly as like I'm saying. They will tell you, choose whoever you want to go through. You do the first initiation, break, let's say, get through them through social engineering, get in the system. We'll install the ransomware, and we will handle negotiation, money laundering, whatever, like from A to Z. We will take care of the initiation, which is talking with the client, tell them this is ransomware. This is the encryption key, because they set up some kind of communication which is encrypted. Nobody can track it. They set up also like not the bank account, but more the wallet account, or the the hash of the wallet that you need to send them through. They money launder the money that they send them, or like they will be sent to. They even do customer service after you're hacked. Let's say the client is or doesn't know how to deal with computers, or doesn't know how to recover every file. So what they do is they tell him like, okay, go here, click there, put this password in. Did you get it? They say like, okay, I got it. Well, thank you for your day. Have a nice day. I'm not. They're really nice, you know. It's a full service, dude. Like from customer service, from finance, from like, dude, holy shit, it's a whole business methodology, and that's what a ransom as a service is. There are certain companies, Black Cat, like Alpha. It's called Alpha or Black Cat. Alpha, ALPH, and a V, because it's an inverted A. They offer this kind of service, and they are bad actors. And for 100% sure, they are outside of the states, and mainly they are in countries that the United States of America um, is not on good terms with. Because if those were those were jailed by the police, you will have negotiations to get them in the states if they ever get caught. So these bad actors, most probably somewhere in Russia, um, Afghanistan, Vietnam, sometimes Azerbaijan, and they're really good. Like they're extremely skilled and good and smart.
So what you're saying is what ransomware as a service is what hit the whole MGM corporation.
Yes and no. They hit themselves in the foot. I also want to talk about before Black Alpha or Black Cat. I'm sorry, Black Cat or Alpha. There's another organization called Scattered Spider, which is initially this organization talked with Black Cat and said like, look, I'm looking for somebody ransom as a service, right? Like to do ransom as a service. They joined forces. And the Scattered Spider, what it does, it's an e-crime adversary who conducts targeted social engineering to a couple of industries, CRM, which is client relationship management, some financial firms, technology companies, telecom, these kind of companies, anything that does also outreaching. Um, that's are these companies are the target. So they targeted MGM, and it seems they also targeted before MGM Caesars. So Caesars before MGM were targeted by these two groups, and they paid a ransom. I think it was somewhere between 13 to 20 million dollars, and their life continued.
Wait, so Caesars was hacked?
Yeah, before MGM, and they paid.
When did Caesars get hacked?
What?
When did Caesars?
Nobody knows. Hacked? They didn't disclose that until September 12th. After the hack of MGM, say, oh yeah, we got hacked also, dude. Shit happens. They paid, dude. They paid by they didn't have any kind of like issues, right? They paid $50 million to like, okay, let's do it. I don't want to fuck things up. They paid, and like, did you hear about any kind of disruptions in Caesars?
Nope, nothing.
Right? Yeah.
Wow.
So is it? We heard about all the disruptions in MGM because they didn't want to pay right away, or what?
So
because they ended up paying too, though, right? MGM ended up paying.
No, they lost money.
No, they never did. Oh,
they paid for recovery, and that's the funny part. So they were asked maybe $13 million.
Sorry, Mo, hold on. But if they paid for recovery, I mean, you're saying that they brought in an outside service to help correct it? Like they never paid the ransom.
No, and that's why they shot themselves in the foot. So they took it's called the highway. Like it's either my way or the highway. I don't know what's called.
Sure, the high road.
Yeah, the high road.
Yeah, they're just like, it's one of the things that I know you're not from the United States, and so it's like for a long time our government had always said like we don't negotiate with terrorists.
That's what they said also.
Yeah.
Sure, and I think we've changed that message or tuned, over the years. But that's pretty much what MGM said. They're like, nah, F you. We're
Yep.
not going to fucking do this. Okay. When Caesars was hacked, like obviously it came out September 12th or something like that, but they probably knew, let's say they were hacked in August.
Mhm.
August 30th, after they paid the ransom or somewhere in between, like they probably went to MGM or, cause all of those casinos have to talk, right?
Yeah.
It's not like everyone just has, like they all know what their $10 minimum is, or for each table. Oh, on Fridays I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
On Wednesday, they all talk.
Yep.
And so I imagine that they shared that information with them.
They did.
And I'm just surprised that MGM still. I mean, it would take a long time to fix their system if they were hackable. And shit, dude, there's a good chance MGM was already infected by then, and they were just waiting.
So
right?
how I think this happened and Caesar got caught up with this. So Caesar never disclosed this, and they should have, right? And when there were like communication between one another that Caesar's got hacked, and because MGM wanted to take the high road, she like MGM, the entity itself, should tell the FBI about this and should communicate this to the government. And when they did that,
Sure.
most probably they fucked Caesars because they mentioned, oh, Caesar got hacked. And they fucked them bad. So Caesar like, okay, we're gonna disclose this. Fuck you guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for the record, Caesar got hacked. Also, I'm just saying, not only us. We're not the fuck ups here.
Right.
Probably this happened.
But dude, companies are hacked all the time. Like I know that now, right? If you have any kind of dark web scanning, like I know I have it available to me with my password manager.
Yeah.
And I'll get, my wife is part of that, and all the time. I mean, dude, 5 times in the last year, I'm notified about some bullshit service that my wife signed up for. Yeah. And her information is out there, and it'll tell me, it's username, password, social security number, email
Driver
address,
license.
whatever. And and we never hear about it.
Nope.
Never. So I assume companies are hacked all the time.
They
All
are.
the time. Like we, yeah.
No. The thing is, they are. There is no law, maybe only in California, but nobody abides to it, that says you need to disclose. The main problem that you may need to disclose, if like the insurance doesn't want to pay or something like this, or something comes up with insurance, that's the only time you don't need. But by law, not by law, there's no law about this. I mean, there are standards and maybe there are policies, but nobody abides to those. Like if a company is hacked because of HIPAA, they need to disclose. And if HIPAA knows like they got hacked, like they didn't disclose, it might be an issue and it might lose the license of that, the whole hospital, and they need to rebrand whatever. So, but like if a company that has no way, like it doesn't abide to HIPAA or doesn't abide to any kind of policy, right? Or it's not HIPAA compliant or PCI compliant or whatever, like their credit card database got hacked, they don't need to disclose it.
Is that mainly because like they don't have to disclose it to us in the public, because that long pages and pages of something we acknowledge when we sign up for something probably says something there that
no, because there's
say.
no law. Like there is no law
Yeah.
that tells you like, okay, if you got hacked, you need to let people know. There is no law about this. There are policies, right? And people use third party just to get around of this. So people, let's say I want to pay, when you go online and want to pay for something, you use a third party vendor that you get, like they give you like a haircut for every transaction, like 4 cents about every transaction you do, like maybe 0.10% of whatever transaction you do, they take that money because they're compliant or PCI compliant. But they are the people who store your credit card information. It's not the company itself. So the company, if it got hacked, it doesn't need to let people know. That's how people get up, around compliance or stuff, because hey, it's not us. They got hacked. We don't care. We don't use this third party. It's all about liability in this game.
Explain how it started, if you could. Right,
Yeah,
like was it a phased kind of like takeover
yeah.
where they're saying like they start with like, hey, we're just going to message one person in payroll somewhere, or we're going to message like the front desk person some weird message, and like only take down one system, or do they come in and just lock everything down right away?
Somewhere in 2023, we don't know when, right? Caesars gets hacked by the same group, which is Black Cat and the Spider group. I think they're called um Scattered Spider. So somewhere in 2023, and most probably late August or somewhere along the line, they get hacked. They pay their ransom, which was like 15 or $20 million, something like this, right? On September 8th, somewhere in the day, we don't have the time. Somebody calls the customer service company and asks about it asks about somebody's name, right? And I think that somebody's name is like a employee in the company or an IT employee in the company, which is a high
Wait,
level.
wait, wait, wait. So someone calls customer service for MGM
Yeah,
and says, "Is Joe Blow there?"
yeah. Let's call him Joe Blow. Perfect.
Okay.
So yeah, like, hey guys, this is Joe Blow actually talking, and I lost my authenticator and like I lost my phone. I'm in Hawaii. Can you guys? I don't know, dude. Yeah, dude. Like this kind of. I lost. Like, hey, kid, stop running around. Like this kind of social engineering way. Lost my phone.
S-
Yeah,
So they acted like they were Joe Blow, which
yeah,
is an employee
yeah,
at MGM, called customer service, and then just because they knew a ton of information, they said, "Hey, listen, Jim, no, I'm so and so. I
yeah,
am Joe Blow. Send me to Cliff. Cliff knows how to fix this.
yeah.
Just transfer me to this extension, like whatever
No,
it
they,
is,
they
or
didn't. They were so they actually went to LinkedIn, picked one of the high IT employees there, and they called customer service. So like, oh, like this is Joe Blow. I got locked out of my account. I'm trying to log in. Like Jack, which is my manager, is actually like giving me a hard time. This is really bad day. My wife left me. Something like that. They give him the access. Right? I'm not joking.
Right.
They give him access
So
to
they
system.
just they just gave
sure.
it to him. They're like, okay, we'll
Well,
reset it. Here's your new password. We're sending it
it's
to this email.
they didn't say they reset it, but in my opinion, the only way you get through this is by resetting access, right? They
Yeah.
said they gave him information, which is home address, date of birth, this kind of bullshit, um that they were figured out the password. But in my opinion, you cannot just figure out a password throughout like home address and all of that. They can.
But even
Yeah,
you would even have you would expect that there would be like dual factor authentication, right? Where like you have to get a text message in order to like
yeah.
complete your login sequence or something, right? And so if he went down that road, really made them believe that he lost his phone, left it on a tour bus somewhere, like it's on the plane, whatever.
Hmm.
They turned all of that off for him. Is the only way
I think
that they
so.
would have been it, because you would assume that MGM would have something as basic
Yeah, they had
as dual
Okta. They
factor
had
setup.
Okta MFA, and I'll get back
Oh,
to that. So they had Okta MFA. So Okta MFA is a multi-factor authentication, and it's a system that allows you to add users. So it's like a management system to the multi-factor authentication on your phone, right? So like when you get a text, when you get a voice call, or you get a like, okay, let me in, you need to configure that. And Okta is the main component on how you configure that with those users. So you link everything together, right? It's a database for MFA or to manage MFA. So they call the social desk as I'm sorry, support desk, and say like do social engineering attack, which is imitating him. They say they got the enough information to get in. In my opinion, they resetted MFA. In my opinion, the support desk is a third party that has nothing to do with the real IT people.
Hmm.
And this is where it really get complicated. Like, dude, they're working with support desk that doesn't abide to any rules they have written because the system was engineered by a contractor. We're getting now in this vicious cycle. There is no ownership. When you have no ownership to the projects or security, say like it's not my fault. It's always been like this, and we need to go call the let's call them company X, those who can
Sure.
to develop the whole system. We need to call company
So
X.
okay, so Joe Blow, this scammer guy, acts like he's an employee of MGM Grand, and he calls the
Support.
support staff
Mhm.
and says, "Hey, I need access. I can't log in
Yep.
for whatever reason. This is what happened.
Mhm.
I am who I say I am. I'll verify this information. Whatever you need." Pulled it off his resume on LinkedIn or whatever,
Yep.
and then they give him access.
They have access.
So now he's this hacker is now logs in as MGM Grand IT guy.
Yep.
What happens next?
So what happens next, because they were able to get in, is because of Okta and because he's an IT guy, right? And because of lack of identity access management. And what identity
Mhm.
access management means, that okay, I'm a junior IT guy, I should not have admin access. So it seems everybody in that company has admin access to a lot of things, right? So you have access to things you should not have at that level, or you don't even work in that domain or project. You should never be there. And again, because of lack of provisioning, lack of leadership, lack of not support, but more of policy, vision, security, best practices, because of lack of ownership, that's what happens. And I bet you a lot of people were super admins on that system. Okta gets hacked, and they resetted a lot of Okta admins, right? So what they did, they resetted a lot of Okta admin access for a lot of users.
Who's they?
They
Who's they?
Black Cat,
So the hackers,
the hackers.
once they were in, they said they reset everyone's access. They probably changed information beforehand.
Yep.
And so no one's getting notified that things were updated.
Mhm. Yep.
And so now it's all now the hackers are just getting in deeper because
Getting in
this whole
deeper, yep,
two-factor
because
thing.
everybody
Okay.
is an admin. After they got access to the systems, and this is like stage 3, they started uninstalling antivirus, because everybody was a super admin. They can do whatever they want. Started uninstalling the antivirus and installing a malware, not a ransomware yet. And a malware, it's a malicious code that either gives you a backdoor, either like goes and looks for scraping data. I don't know what kind of malware they found, but they found that malware. Um, so
And
that
so these hackers are installing the malware like on servers,
Yes.
pretty much, right?
Yep.
Like they're remoting into other computers,
Yeah.
and which is why they needed to override that Okta, was it OKTA?
yeah,
I think is what it is,
OKTA,
right?
Okta.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, Okta, and then
yeah.
gotcha, and then so now what they're doing is just fishing for information.
No, they're
probably
not.
with malware.
At this point, they're
No.
getting their hands on much privilege and authority they can on every server they have, at installing their malware or the backdoor. And what a backdoor is, it's a door that you can access without anybody noticing it, because they remove the malware, they remove the antivirus or any kind of firewall that actually can detect these malware. So they can access any system now, or not any system, a lot of systems.
Sure.
At this point, because of that, it was on September 8th. So this hack started on September 8th, which was a Sunday. I'm sorry, Friday. On Sunday, September 10th, MGM detected a malware on their servers. It was one day. They detected the malware on the servers. Once they detected the malware on the servers, Black Cat starting installing ransomware. Probably before that, they started installing ransomware. Before the detection of the ransomware, they start like, okay, let's start installing ransomware. And the reason why I'm saying this, because in one of the documents, or one of the public statements, Black Cat came with a public statement saying everything they've done just to humiliate MGM. And I'll share it with you guys later on.
You said just to humiliate
Yeah,
MGM?
because they didn't pay them ransomware, and they also exposed the executive team. They're buying and they're selling their stocks with MGM because um, things happening in the company and nobody wanted to know about. They also
Whoa, whoa,
mentioned
whoa.
that.
So they realized that the executives of MGM started selling their stock
Mhm.
Isn't that illegal?
because they were aware of the hack that was going
No,
on.
not because of the hack. They were just selling the stock. I don't know if it was because of the hack. They didn't mention what dates they were selling the stocks.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't mention that. But so MGM detected on the servers malware, which most probably was it, started to be a ransomware at this point on Sunday, September 10, at night. So what the attackers did at this point, well, before that, what the attackers had access at this point, the Azure tenant, they had access to Okta, all Okta management as a super admin, and ransomware was installed, or the ransomware, or which is the ransom software, was installed on 100 of their own servers,
Hmm.
or like ESXi hypervisor. At this point, they had access to something called hypervisor. Hypervisor is the system or a management system you use to manage your servers. So they had access to the server management system.
So the like you can spin up virtual servers, right? Like it's not like, we people who aren't in IT might think of a server as like a flat out like box, like a full on computer, or maybe one of those blade servers or something.
Tower.
Well, one of those blade servers, can hold hundreds of servers, hundreds of little and in order to do that, use something like hypervisor to do that, right?
So
yeah, gotcha. So they had they had control of the management tool that they used to control their servers. Wow.
At that point, MGM got notified of that on Sunday night. At this point, the first contact was done by Black Cat or Alpha to MGM. Well, you guys got, you got attacked. We're asking for ransomware. I don't know, $15 million. MGM refused. At this point, they shut off all their systems. Okay,
MGM did.
yeah. You know what?
Yeah.
Pulled the plug.
Right.
That's the funny part, to be honest. That's what they did. They pulled the plug, and on Monday, September 11th, September 11th, 8 a.m. or 8:27 a.m., MGM released a public statement, said that, oh, we got hacked, ransomware installed in our systems, and please bear with us, with our clients. We'll give you complimentary lab dance or something like that. I'm not joking. This is what happened.
Well, sure. I didn't get a lap dance. I was there too around that time. Just kidding, but I wasn't there. I wasn't at the MGM. I had just
That's
left.
why.
Yeah,
you should have bumped in. So like, what the hell happened?
Where's my lap
I was
dance?
more worried about the bed bugs outbreak they were doing. That's why it's like, was that whole bed bugs outbreak a smoke show for the ransom and hacking? And it's like
maybe
people be more distracted about bed bugs than
dude. We had a bed bug outbreak in Vegas.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, there was a huge thing before that. My wife and I were kind of worried about going over there, and it was at the big hotels too. It wasn't just
it's like Paris.
Some of the big ones. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I'm not sure which hotels, but it was some of the bigger ones. Yeah.
Well.
So when MGM pulled the plug, what is that? They just shut were they old school? I mean, I'd heard rumors that they were, using Excel. And like people are writing down on like physical notepads, like, oh, you're in room 323,
Yep.
But is it like, do you know what they shut down? Like what?
Everything. No, everything. I'm not joking. Everything. Like older systems. Like
what do they do with the people there?
They just manage them manually. Even their payroll. You can't do like timekeeping. If you're working overtime, they cannot know you worked overtime. And probably fucked up their employees after that. That they really went to the dark ages at that point. How did they manage? I really don't know. um, but all their systems was down. Like people can access penthouse elevator. you know, that's how insane it was. Like with your standard card, you can go to the penthouse.
Hmm.
Or no security, no access management, no nothing. The database, I mean, there's no database to authenticate with what we're gonna authenticate with, like your member or something. Um, yeah, and that
So
yeah,
once they pulled the plug, uh, like effectively shutting down all those servers, like that then shut down access, I assume,
yep.
to the hackers.
Well, technically, they what they did at this point, and from technical point of view, is they removed the network access, right? From like they turned everything. I don't think they turned everything off, but what they did is remove the network access so the attackers wouldn't access it from the outside, but where the third party people and their IT people will come in and do their own investigation and say, okay, this is we're gonna get systems up back and we're gonna get the most recent backups. When are the most recent backups? Let's do that. And that's what they started doing. But there are a lot of systems, dude. Like it's no joke. It's like a lot of systems. You need to
So
yeah.
so redoing your back. So say they reinstall an old backup. Isn't that exactly what they just hacked? How long would it be before they can hack into those same ones the same way?
Well,
Is it something that can be quick, or does it this takes over time?
so relatively speaking, you should keep up to 2 weeks of backup, right? Um, that's how long you should keep your backup. Probably they picked up a backup, the most recent, but before the attack, because they got an investigation team who handled everything, and they told them, well, you guys were attacked, and like they did like an investigation, forensic, whatever. You guys got attacked on September 8th. Let's do the backup on September 7th. So what they do for every system they have, they will get the backup up to September 7th. Let's say they have a 10,000 servers, they need to hand pick, or because their system got compromised. And I don't know if they have a backup system for their system, like the management or backend system. I don't think they have. So I think they had to hand pick every backup and create a new virtual machine and do that.
So like usually you kind of plan for like that kind of like, you know, freaking worst case scenario, but I don't think you could think of everything going down, right? Like you would be like, okay, what's the like you would have, okay, maybe this one system's going to go down. Maybe this like leg or arm of our system might go down, which might be, 100 systems or whatever. You don't plan for everything, man. Yeah, I bet you they went, and especially if their whole two-factor system was compromised, they had to have go through and just,
From
yeah,
scratch. Like,
cherry pick each one, set up
yep,
new
go
passwords
through
across the
everything.
board. Yeah, man, like remove access probably
Most
if
probably it
anything,
wasn't
and
them.
then
It was a third party. They paid millions of dollars, not millions, but like let's say they paid a lot of money to get that in. And I bet you they paid a lot of money to get like to redo that. And bear in mind, every day they had an outage, they were losing about 13 million or 15 million dollars. They had outage for 7 days, their official outage, but I think their outage went over to 3 weeks, which is 21 days. That's a lot of
So
money.
so during all this time, nobody can gamble in their casinos or what? I mean,
Nope,
like what's okay? Wow.
you can't do anything.
like table games weren't running.
I don't think for me, I so how table games work is when you win, you get like the money. And when you get the money, it's in your name, and in your name there's a database, and they need to put that money in and like do a refresh rate and all of that. You can't do that. You like maybe you can play, but like you're not gonna get anything home. And you cannot trade that like how much, I don't know, they're called the um
Chip.
Chips.
chips. Yeah, the chips. You can't trade the chips for money because there's a system that tells you like how much in and how much out. There was no system, no database to keep track.
Hmm.
You can still do it if you have your own. It's gonna be like dummy stuff, like you're not gonna be trading for real or something. Plus, the people who will have access to like be the blackjack distributor, or I don't know what they're called, the staff, they need to actually go in and authenticate, right? That they have access, because that's, I think, a security clearance, and they need to have.
No, well, like table games are like you could just walk up and throw $50 down, right? And then you get $50 in chips, and then you can like you're free to gamble. And if you win $200 from that, $50, you can go cash out. I don't think you got to show your ID when you.
No, but
right,
like
Chris?
who
I mean, I
Yeah.
think it's
deals,
like over
like
10
the person
grand.
who deals, he has an ID,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, like the he's probably talking about, how the dealers always have to switch every 45 minutes or whatever, and then they
Yep.
have to, they're in control more than us.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
betting and
those
stuff.
I was talking about authenticating those people, because
Gotcha.
you need to you need to use your ID like with whatever machine you're working in, to make sure that you are actually a staff
Right.
to get in. And plus, when you put the money in and like put whatever in, it like swallows the money or pulls it in. It's linked to a database.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
these weren't working. I think they're not. Most probably they weren't, because I also read on Reddit that a lot of them weren't working at some times. Most probably these were the first systems they get online.
So
Resolve
I wonder how
fast.
many people were like, "Hey, I put $100 into this
Didn't work.
slot machine and
Yeah.
Yeah.
it didn't accept it."
Complimentary.
And how
lap
did they go
dance.
back to that? Yeah.
Complimentary.
Lap
lap
dance.
It works.
I'm like, I want 2 lap dances at least. That was $100.
It's complimentary. You can ask for
Yeah.
how many you want.
Be so mad. Be like, I should have asked for 3.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I'm the worst negotiator. in the
Pretty
world.
much.
Yeah.
You mean I could have had unlimited? Fuck.
Yeah.
They said yes way too fast. Fuck.
Are you saying I could have just
A never-ending
there?
lap
Or, like,
dance?
yeah, never stood up.
I can listen to the whole
Could've been-
Taylor Swift playlist. That'd be good.
So,
So, are
yeah,
they recovered? They're recovered now. They're 100%.
Now, yeah, it's been I think a month or 6 weeks. They
Right.
are recovered. I don't know if fully, because I think they're not fully recovered, but are they? They're notified officially again. 94% recovered. That's what they said. Are they? I don't know. I'm not
94% recovered.
94.
I mean, are they implying that there's 6% of the servers that are still not online?
Yeah, they're not
Or-
sure.
Hmm.
But
So
yeah.
do they should they have, what do you think? Should they have taken the ransom, paid the ransom, and then they could have just reset it and did whatever they needed to do?
Let's do
That
the
would have been
math.
cheaper in the long run, right?
Let's
For
do
sure.
the math. Every day you're not working, you're losing marketing, you're losing clients, you're losing a lot of stuff, right? They lost about $100 million. I'm sorry. And again, that's only from the days they didn't work. I'm not saying they lost more than that. They had staff working overnight. They didn't even factor in the third party, the vendors they got in, the revamping of the whole system, the recovery, like all of that. I'm pretty sure it cost them like 3 times more, maybe $300 million. Just
Right.
pay $20 million, dude, and go with it. Like stop being
Yeah.
dumb, or get a better security team. better quality team on your
Yeah.
on your staff, or pay the ransom. You don't need to be that kind of
Yeah.
George Bush Jr. way. Like, we don't need a terrorist. Like,
Yeah. We don't negotiate
Yeah,
with
like,
terrorists, but
sure.
we'll pay
well, your dad
$200
did,
million.
so it doesn't matter.
Well, even like they could have paid the ransom and then been up and running
Yeah,
and then fixed their system.
pretty much.
Gone through and paid that same amount of money to pull the same backups
Yeah.
from 3 weeks ago, and then just slowly up the,
Mhm.
like there's a way to do it and still maintain your business,
Yes, sir.
Not saying that what they did is wrong or right, but
It's kind of a pride thing where they're like, you know what? I don't want to pay these guys. I'd rather pay 200.
Dude, they
but
make a lot
really,
of money.
It's 200 million. Really? Do they even blink at that 200 million? I mean, they bring in so
Yeah,
much
they
free-
bring so much money. Like 20 million is nothing to them. This is like, child's play at that point. But again, it's pride, lack of leadership, lack of management, lack of quality staff. You cannot go and give everybody super admin. permissions on
Yeah.
everything. That's what they have. They were contracting a lot. Nobody cared or had ownership. So there is a lack of a lot of things over there because, dude, they had money, they have insurance, they have good lawyers. All like they don't care, and they have like people on the executive board that also don't care about this,
And I
right?
imagine the ransom you have to pay, that's covered by insurance, right? That's probably, it's really not even out of their
Yeah,
pocket if they would have paid that 20
I
million.
I think it's they didn't have good systems. So insurance, this is how you work with insurance. You're getting a fast car, zero kind of safety, right? It doesn't have a seatbelt, doesn't have anything. Your insurance should be over the roof, right? That's how it is. So you'll be paying for insurance if you're using your car, let's say $300 per day. You don't have anything good in your car. I would like if you do an accident, we're losing money on this. So to to be able to like gain money from you, it means like time three or maybe more in how much you pay or normal person pay. Because they didn't have best practices. They didn't have like a good insurance or like I'm sorry, good security protocols. They didn't even have a like incident response or good incident response. What happens in case of fire, what happens like they know what happens in case of fire, but like what happens in case of security attack or
Well, we hope they do. I mean,
yeah, that's what you hope.
this kind of just shows, maybe they're not as prepared as they think they are for
Yeah.
just about what else are they not prepared
Ocean
for,
11 it wasn't a lie, so
Yeah. Yeah.
um just want to add a couple of things. So um MGM released a statement to resolve the outage on September 14th, 4 a.m. or 4:59 a.m. And also at the same time, September 14th noon, MGM released a statement that people's personal information are leaked, which
Hmm.
is leaked, which was driver license, social security, credit card number, rewards, membership ID.
Are those employees social security? I mean, because like when I go to the hotel, I don't give them my social
Yeah,
security
but they
number.
have your driver license. They have your
Yeah,
passport
maybe.
number. They have your credit card numbers. Um, and
Yeah.
they have personal information. So PII is like anything I can identify you with, right? Like Chris, so anything. Social security is one of them. A lot of things are one of them. Um, to add on that, September 14th, 7 p.m., Alpha released a statement or their official statement humiliating the leadership of MGM, talking about how MGM is lacks la- wait MGM IT staff lacks understanding of their network, their systems,
Mm.
of Okta. That's really funny. Talks also about that they tried to talk with them so many times about, well, you guys pay the ransom and we're good. We like any kind of negotiation. They saw a user goes in the server in the chat, but never talk.
Mm.
That's the funny part.
Mm.
Talks also about like any leakage or releases that the executives were um, selling a lot
Stop.
of stocks, millions of dollars worth of stocks in MGM. I don't know when this kind of stock selling was, but they talk about those. So it was really like to humiliate them. Um, so yeah. And September 21st, MGM releases a statement that says, like all systems are restored, but a lot of people made fun of this that they weren't, say like this wasn't working, this isn't working, and this. So most probably a lot of basic systems were restored. Like you can access your room, right, which is a basic
Right.
thing. But can you actually do like go and play with something? They weren't able to do that. They had a lot of
Right.
issues. And that was September 21st, like 1 week of the hack after the hack, or let's say 11 days. People even like said after 3 weeks it's not fully restored. And that's like 21 days. 21 days you're losing $13 million. It's a lot of that's like a lot of money. But they said they lost $100 million. Did
Dude,
they? I
I
don't
could
know.
totally see how that hacking group, right? What was it? Wildcat? No, what'd you call it?
Black Cat.
Scatter Spider.
Yeah, Black Cat.
Scatter
Yeah.
Spider. Yeah,
What'd you call-
one of
Just
those.
Shit stain.
Yeah.
Whatever it was.
Black Spider.
Yeah,
Black Widow.
like they have to be pissed, right? Like they did all this work, hacked into the system, locked it down, and then MGM was not going to pay, and
they were pissed.
Yeah, but I would imagine like that's got to be the right move. You know, at the same time, like you don't want to pay them out because then like they're just gonna like they know it'll
You're
work.
enabling
We can
them.
do this again in 4
Yeah.
years. Yeah.
Well, and I thought I heard that. See, this is what I thought I heard, and I didn't hear a whole lot about it, but I thought I heard that MGM paid him, and then they said, "Thank you, but now we want more money." That's what I thought I heard, but I guess that wasn't. I don't know where I heard that before.
No,
Maybe that's just people speculating or
dude,
talking.
all the research that I did said that MGM turned out their machines.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which, and I get that point. Like maybe, maybe it costs a lot more down the line, but at the same time, what's to stop them from doing it next week or the week after, and you know what, maybe there'll be a major target for them now that they technically kind of won. MGM won.
Yeah. I don't
maybe
think MGM won.
Well,
they
not
lost a lot of
money wise,
Yeah.
but they didn't get any money. So, unless they're doing it not for the money.
They got access to the PII for over 65 million members.
And PI stands for personal
Information.
identification.
Identifiable
Gotcha.
information, which is like
the
social security
number,
credit card,
yeah.
blah blah blah.
Yeah, so I guess they won anyway. They
They can
got all that
sell it
stuff
like
as well.
for 10,000 users. Like that's like $1,000 per 10,000. That's you get a lot of money out of it.
What kind of fee? Like, so these ransomware customer service people, like, what kind of fee do they charge? You know what I mean? Like, so like, because it's not. You're saying that the ransomware customer service people, they are whoever wants to do the hack on MGM. They're going to this ransom software company, customer service. They're giving them all the information and helping them and helping them through it. How much do they charge?
That really depends.
If is it like 50% or is it like?
Yeah, again, it really depends. Like how much money. So like how much money they're getting out of it. If it's only like let's say, like not $20,000, they take 50%. The bigger the money, the less percentage they take.
Right. And why don't they just do it themselves at that point? I mean, they're already breaking the law. They're already helping. They're just doing it just to.
It's a business. I mean,
to be a thorn.
No, not even a thorn. It's you don't know how to do it, but you got the courage to do it. So you want somebody to do it for you. You go like you take 50% of basically you already build a business. It's like a software.
Right.
You already built the software. It's easy for you to do it. You only need customer service.
They're just the brains of the operation, and they need some muscle to execute it, right?
Yeah, and like 50% of actually installing a software and talking with people, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you're taking half of $10 million for a 2-day job.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Right?
I'm just wondering how I can get into this. That's all.
Yeah.
How do I? I'll do it.
So, but these hackers were only able to get in because of what is it? Social hacking, right? So they had to call in and ask and act as if they were a person, right? Like they had to say, I am Joe Blow. I work here. I just can't log in. Can you please reset my username and password so I have full access? It's not like their network was compromised. They were able to hack like MGM's firewall or firewalls. Like everything was working. The only way they could get in is like
human
social
error,
hack,
right? It was a human error.
It's always a human error to get in. That's the biggest risk, right? Like even any company, even our company, our biggest risk is a human error. You only need one person to download. Like even with a LastPass hack, it was a DevOps team guy who got hacked. By his credentials got hacked and they got in. You only need one person to do that. And again, I wanna highlight what you said, Chris. I don't think the issue was the social engineering. I think the issue was lack of leadership. Again, if let's say they were able to get in, but you have strong MFA and strong procedures in a company that prevents you from, for example, a lot of companies use two kind of MFA. One MFA when you log into a server, and one MFA when you're logging to your email, right? So your
Sure.
one identity as a accessing your work stuff is one level, but to access a server, it's a different level. They only had one level. Like for this kind of big of IT system they have, they only had one level. And again, it speaks volumes about the kind of leadership they have over there and the security leadership. It's not existent. Um,
Yeah.
and
Right. Like there's times where, not to circle back or even bring in UFOs with this, but I know it seems as if there's, or really government agencies, I guess is what I should say. But, there's times where people are super compartmentalized. Like you only need to know what you should know and nothing else. Right.
mhm.
And so, you don't know what your coworker is working on in the cubicle next to you, because you don't have a need to know. But that's not what MGM did. Right. Like, so you're saying like from a leadership perspective, there wasn't policies in place, like one engineer had access to everything, not just what he or she was responsible for,
So what I mean by
and that allowed everything to, yeah.
what I mean by lack of leadership is there was, in my opinion, like to see this kind of pattern and to see this kind of not even a pattern, to see the consequences of such a thing. If you go back and do reverse engineering to this, it goes back to the kind of lack of leadership that says, okay, dude, I own, let's say I'm Joe Blow, or not say Joe Blow, but let's say John Doe, and I own the system as a chief of information security or as a chief of technology. And when I say I own the system, I want to bear the responsibility of anything that happens within the system. For example, I am the owner of this. I'm the responsible if the systems go down. Right? There was no this kind of responsibility or ownership as leadership, because once you're responsible for something, and if this something goes south, you will be blamed for it. You will say, well, I didn't know, right? And if you go in and say, I don't know, you'll get fired. But because of this kind of culture wasn't there, no ownership, no responsibility, because most probably everything was outsourced. At that point, this kind of behavior, you will throw it on, oh, it's their fault, like it's their system, it's not mine. I don't know, dude. We have Okta. I mean, you guys said Okta will do it, and like it will go right. But it
Mm.
doesn't work like this. Because if you bear the responsibility, you don't want anything to go south. And you start saying, what if? And with every what if, you try to build risk mitigation, right? It's all about risk mitigation, risk management. Try to find a backup plan for every kind of what if.
Yeah, they don't have no predictive
They didn't care.
system.
It's not even,
Yeah.
they didn't care. Like at the basic level, they didn't care.
So they felt safe, and then it was just, I mean, it obviously was a problem waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Right, because of the fact that they didn't have like multiple levels of two-factor authentication in place, and so you just got to get through one gate. You only need one level of social engineering, and then boom, you're in. It's not like you got to get to the second tier or the third tier or whatever. So, um, dude, I wonder. There's got to be so many companies like that, right?
There are a lot of
So
companies
many,
like that. And they would pay ransom. Like the ransom, they would pay for it.
and we'd never hear about it.
No.
Like freaking
Caesars.
Yeah.
Caesars, which
Yeah.
is like MGM and Caesars, right?
Mhm.
Like those are the top two companies. Like they own the strip.
Pretty
They
much.
own Las Vegas, right? Yeah, I mean it's
Why would you not pay for it? Like that's my question. Why? Pay for it, work in the background or the back end to make it better. You're good. Next time they
I
would
don't
get
even
hacked.
think that's not I don't even think that's something we should worry about, right? Like that's not, they're already hacked, right? But like whether they want to pay for it or not, that's on them, right? Like you can judge them for making a bad business decision, but they wanted to not pay the money. They're like, fuck you, we don't negotiate with terrorists.
No, but like
And so they're, so who cares if it's like, it didn't affect you at all. You know what I mean? Like you weren't in Vegas.
I'm really pissed that it affected the clients. You know, like
They were already affected though. Like
What?
the people staying in the hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
would they still had all their information, all their PIP?
nobody.
I mean,
yeah.
they would have had it whether they paid the ransom or not. They still have everybody's.
Yes and no.
information, right?
Yes and no. They wouldn't. So some of them don't take it. Some of them do.
Like you said, it depends on the
it
honor
really
of
depends.
the
but
guys, I guess.
but in all cases, why cause pain for whoever was going to Vegas that week? And that kind of mentality that really pisses me off. You don't give a fuck about the client. You don't give the fuck the people that like feed you. You know?
Yeah.
Of course they don't.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah,
course
yeah.
they don't.
That's
dude.
the
Yeah,
funny
come
part.
on.
They didn't
They
even
never
give a fuck
have.
about the staff.
They've taken all my money every time I've gone. They don't give a shit.
Yeah, dude.
They're not going to start now.
That's what really pisses me off.
Yeah.
How greedy they
Yeah.
are. You know,
You know how much they charge for a lap dance? Fuck it, it's ridiculous.
Dude, I had someone I work with went to Vegas the other day, and it was like super cheap. He went for $35 a night, stayed at an awesome place, and but they had it was like an additional $30 a day to use the mini fridge.
Oh yeah, dude, those fees are ridiculous there.
Like just to you, right? If you open it, $35.
Yeah.
wow.
You're charged for the day. And
Yeah.
and it like they had like sensors now in place with like water
Yeah.
bottles and shit. And
Yeah.
it's like, dude, my 10-year-old daughter's gonna come up and like bump the water bottle and boom, we're charged $8
Yeah.
for this thing that costs 20 cents.
Yeah, don't take your old daughter to Vegas. With
Yeah. So yeah, of course. Yeah, but they don't they don't
Yeah.
care about
No,
us,
I know.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And like this is what really pisses me off. Like, why did you do that? Like you fucked everybody off. You know, it's like again, George Bush with Iraq fucked over Iraq just because he feels like a big guy. Yeah, I'm not joking. Like he even fucked over the Marines. So what he did, he released in the air kind of uranium, half-life uranium, a dusted half-life uranium. So like it's like he used threw it in the air, and after a couple of years, he deploys Marines over there, and they have the Gulf, what's it called, the Gulf sickness, something like that. Which is
Sure.
they get you release people in uranium that it takes twice as much as Earth had been, not twice as much, but like millions of years to get rid of
You
it.
go away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You release your Marines, your people, dude. Like people died. Did they come back with cancer? Well, I'm not joking. It's a thing. Look it up. It's called Gulf sickness or something like that. Why? What's the reason, dude? I have a friend of mine who like got shot and he saw friends being dead for what? Again, you fucked over a million people in Iraq, and till now it's never a country for what? Just a pride thing. Again,
Well, his dad couldn't do it, so he had to do it.
yeah, and like the funny thing that Osama bin Laden father bailed Junior out because I'm not joking, by the way, this is a real thing. He bailed him out because he bankrupted his second business. So imagine he bankrupted his second business and he got bankrupt twice. But we have a president that got bankrupt twice for a shitty business as a president. Think of it as something.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Are you implying that Americans don't make good voting decisions?
Oh no, they don't.
I mean, if you look at
Yeah.
how many times did Trump break her up before he became, I don't know. I mean, some people may argue that. I mean, I have that same opinion, but a lot of the argument is it's different. But man,
Dude, like
Well, dude, sometimes bankruptcy is a good business decision.
Is a good business decision. I agree.
for Bush family, do you think it's a good decision for Bush family who have millions of dollars?
I don't know anything
Yeah.
about Bush's businesses. I just know that, dude, it's a tool in place that the government put in place for businesses, right? I mean, it's a tool to use. You know,
I agree. But imagine being bankrupt twice. That's what I'm saying. As a president,
dude, I'm not implying. Sure, dude. Listen, was George Bush Jr. a good businessman? Probably not. Was Trump a good businessman? Probably not.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, but he is. Though.
He is
but
a real
he al-
good businessman.
But Trump has filed bankruptcy several times.
Yeah.
More than twice.
Right. So, but like but define good, right? Like,
Yeah.
like is he
That's why he's a
Like
good
in good
businessman, because he was able to file bankruptcy and still keep all his money
Yeah.
and do what he's
Sure.
got to do. So,
right,
yeah, that
right,
does
right.
make him a good businessman.
Learns how to, dude.
Uses,
You're right.
Yeah.
Well, Mo, dude, should probably wrap it up, man. I appreciate
Thank you.
You coming on and educating us two idiots about this stuff. It was awesome.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
But thank you guys.
Well,
Yeah,
I
it's
am.
good stuff, man. I would agree. You are.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't know you enough,
All right, man.
Chris.
I'm not the brains of the operation. I'll tell you that much.
Dude, Mo, we should do it again, though, man.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, good night.